Day Facebook, Chris Barnett from the KUAF News Team.
Day, Sabrina Salas, Matt Tanani.
And I could just feel the history in the air here at the University of Guam Cabo Fieldhouse. The herstory, sorry. The herstory. That's right. That's going to take some getting used to. As people are already starting to come in here to the UOG Cabo Fieldhouse for this historic inauguration. Of course, Guam's first woman governor, Guam's first openly gay lieutenant governor, and actually the first openly gay lieutenant governor
in the nation.
That's pretty amazing. And earlier today, they swore in the Democratic supermajority, also a female majority in the legislature. And there was a moment when the camera had in one shot the heads of the three branches of government, the judicial branch, of course, with Chief Justice Catherine Merriman, Governor Lulia Guerrero, and then Speaker of the Legislature, Speaker Tina Munia Barnes, all three heads of state, all women. And, my heart kind of skipped a beat there, Bree.
It certainly did. And some of the things that the speaker touched upon were about female empowerment. She started off her speech with first recognizing 75 years of freedom and thanking all of our elders that were watching for their contributions to our community and just to how we enjoy the freedoms that we do today. She also talked about the two people that inspired her and gave her start in politics, first being Governor Carl Gutierrez. She told a story that she was working at the Department of Integrated Services for the Public Defender's Office,
right.
And she got a call from from Governor Gutierrez, and DISID was actually created by then Senator Lulian Guerrero. And so Carl told her that he needed somebody with a big heart, and Gina responded, "Well, I am that woman." The other person that she thanked, of course, was her father, the late Bill Munia, who taught her life lessons that she applies in life and in leadership. She said that being speaker is more about listening than speaking, and hearing both sides of a debate, enforcing rules, and ensuring that everyone's voice is heard. And she said that you have to be honest even when it hurts, and to respect one another. She talked about the work that lies ahead, the 35th Guam legislature, how they have to re-energize the economy, reform our...
At that time, my mind was fresh. I was young. I ain't young anymore.
Who were some of your greatest political influences then?
Well, first of all, like George.
You mentioned your father, I think.
Oh, my father, yes. My father was, to describe my father, this was a time when you have not not what the government, it's the territorial party against the popular party. And in fact, something happened when I was already out of country, when somebody got sick in the hospital. And this is related to one of the guys that are running for, and he was told that he cannot move. But I came over there, one more looked down at him and said, "Haha, Suzon Bobuta is territorial party. Mungaman Malefani is territorial party." And he woke up. So those are the things that really makes me proud. That one is that I'm also my son, the way he is acting now as the governor of Guam. And then I told him, I said, "God, son, go around and you're going to be one of the best governors that Guam ever had."
I did not walk alone to achieve the greatness that the people of Guam deserve. The people of Guam gave me the privilege to serve them and gave me the mandate to work with the members of the legislature, both Democrats and Republicans, and the stakeholders, so that we can meet the challenges of our time to deliver they deliver the things that the people of Guam deserve to have. And it is not easy, because the only way you can deliver the greatness of the people is to work with members of the legislature, the stakeholders, and it is not easy. I can just imagine, I go back and imagine the days where we had to debate the issues, where we disagree, where we had to compromise, the long hours, the options. That was a long walk. But when you're focused on achieving something, you can overcome anything if you are able to and willing to compromise, to work with the stakeholders and spend the time until you're able to achieve it. It's not always perfect. You don't always get it, but it's there for the taking. And I have to say that we were very fortunate to do all these things. That's why we had the greatest economy during our time. And it's not because of me walking alone. It's with all the stakeholders. It's not me or the people. It is not me, it is the people and the historian that will determine my legacy. And I hope after 25 years when I pass on to a new life, and I hope my God would allow me into the gate of heaven. But one thing for sure though, I owe the people of Guam a debt of gratitude for allowing me to serve them. This honor I would never forget and would treasure it forever.
The can-do governor. I don't take the rules and regulations and stumbling blocks as the final answer. And think that, because they said, this letter said you can't do this, the Fed said you can't do that, and then you end up there and just say, okay, I can't do that because the letter said that. And I'll give you a good example of how I'm able to bring the people of Guam into the 20th century. This was in 95, 96, just before the 20th century goes out, right? I said our people has to be pulled in to the 20th century before you hit 2000. And thousands of people are still, isolated, in the jungles, no running water, no roads, no power, no telephones. And I said, why are these people left out? Why are they marginalized so? Bringing people, the entire island as one family, never marginalizing anyone, being able to be a real and true Magalahi. Because a real and true Magalahi, as we know it in our culture, is the chief of the village, the governor of Guam, whatever you want to call him, but he has to be, accessible and be in the public square, standing there so people can come and talk to you, tell you their problems, and hopefully you can make things right for them. So that's what I was. I was a real Magalahi. My wife Jerry Gutierrez was a real Magahaga. So being accessible to the people, to listen to them and let them tell you their problems, because not only are you going to help them, you make them feel that they matter.
I tended to be a lot more conservative than media, which I consider to be liberal. So the relationship between my administration in my first term, especially, and the media was not as good as it could have been. But beyond that, when I look at that issue versus everything else, it just pales in comparison to all the other challenges. When a man is laid to rest in his final days, he doesn't look back and think, I should have worked harder. I should have put more effort into this or into that. I think what one values more so are relationships with those that really matter to you, your family, and those that you care for. And, you know, and so with my family, if there's any regret, it was always the fact that it took up so much of my time to be governor. And so people don't realize it, but to be in a leadership position requires a sacrifice. And oftentimes you sacrifice your family. They pay the price because you can't give them the attention and the time that they need because you're responsible and caring for everyone else. I remember having a conversation with my kids saying, we don't see much of you anymore. You're always at work, or you're traveling, or you're in meetings, and you can't take a phone call. And I had to tell my daughter, the youngest one then, is I'm sorry, but you are my children, and but I have a bigger family now, and that's the people of Guam, so you have to sacrifice along with me. And so that's always I think the biggest regret is not finding enough balance for everything else, because you get so consumed in your role as governor.
The good Lord has given every single individual in this world a unique talent, a unique skill. So you make the most of it. But then being a governor, and you make a decision, especially ones that are breaking the status quo, there are millions of different things that could happen or not happen that can affect what will happen as a result of that decision that is pivotal. So you can think all the possible angles of you make this decision, what may happen or may not happen. And it's pretty significant. So all that's left is then that quiet meditation and then prayer. And it's amazing, after prayer, then you wait for the silence. And every major decision I've made, that answer came to me. If you're asking about an epiphany, that one moment, it came with silence. The government that I leave to the next administration, the island that we all live in, that I step away, that this island, this government, and our people, that it is better off than it was when I first came in. That's my hope.
And we're here with Mr. David De La Sola, who is the appointee, the Leon Guerrero Tenorio appointee, chosen to lead the Department of Labor. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, and I appreciate the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor for their confidence in me.
And you've actually done this job before, and when Lou talked about the experience and then the youthful energy that comprises her cabinet level, she was talking about experience and talking about what you're bringing to the table.
Well, I also hope I bring some youthfulness into it.
Just a little.
Yes, just a little bit. Yes, I got 12 years in. I had 5 years in DYA and 3.5 years in the Department of Labor and 4 years in Agency for Human Resources Development. So yes, I have 12 years in director experience, and with 7 of it at Labor itself.
Nice. And so Department of Labor, there's a ton of issues that involve Department of Labor. What are some of the things that you're excited to work on moving forward?
Of course, we're going to continue and develop our close relationship with the military, and getting their help with our H-2s, and work with the Congress and also the governor, who's also working with Washington about getting our H-2s, not only for inside the fence, but also outside the fence. And also, we like to make sure that we get in all our unemployment and employment reports in, and we are hoping to get together and start working on meeting and get some of our worker comp cases taken care of and wage and hour issues taken care of. So we do have a lot of work to do, but they are also doing some good things there still.
I'm curious if you've had a chance to meet with your team at Department of Labor, and what was that like?
Yes, I was part of the transition team. So I've met with pretty much all the administrators down there and discuss what our challenges are. Of course, a lot of the challenges is the decreased staffing. They are probably almost 25 to 30% less employees than when I was there years ago. So we have to kind of see what our priorities are and kind of know that we can't do everything in every division, but we should prioritize and organize and see what we can do and make sure that we do what is important to the people and what needs to be done, especially in workers' comp and wage and hour and enforcement. Those are things that we really need to pay attention to.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, and good luck, and we look forward to seeing you a lot in the next 4 years.
And I look forward to serving the people of Guam. Thank you very much.
Well, it was on Sunday that we broadcast a special edition of the After Party where we interviewed Governor-elect Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. Here's a portion of that interview.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to what's going to happen in this year, and Josh and I are running. We're right there. We're urgent about stuff. And, we know exactly what our platform is, what we want to do. We're going to focus really heavily on finances. We're going to look at ways that we can cut costs, and we're already finding ways. And, look at funding that is not being used, that should be used. A lot of federal monies that was returned back to the government, about $49 million. Josh will probably talk about it more, but he's going to be heading the state clearinghouse.
Nice.
And he's already looking at really good people to run that, and he's going to be focused on that because that's federal dollars that we can use to provide better service. The whole IT of the government, I'd like to totally reassess that, review that. See how we can make it work so people talk to each other, For example, Department of Land Management, their system's not talking to the Department of Revenue and Tax, so they don't have up-to-date information about change of titles, that kind of stuff. We're losing revenues from that. We're losing revenues from condominiums, just a lot of leakage. I think that it's not hard to close. And I think you just have to have the persistence and the diligence to be right there. So we're working very closely with those people.
For my reset for federal funds, I said at that debate that there was over $49 million that was returned. So the way I envision the clearinghouse is really like an intervention team. I'll have accounting people there, I'll have program people, I'll have procurement people there, people that can see in advance what agencies are maybe underperforming and try and get in there and try and push it up. So some people have said, you need to go out and bring the money, but I think that we need to spend the money that we're getting.
Right.
So that's my refresh for clearinghouse. And for beautification, I think it's going to be working frontline with the mayors. We're moving them back to Guadalupe after 16 years. There's some funds and resources out there that I'd like to get out. And I tell you, when I've been canvassing, especially up here up north in the Chamorro-Lantros areas, there's a lot of cleaning up to do. And if we're going to have our young people feel good about the place that we live in, we better clean it up so they can be proud of it. So, but on the other side, I came from the court. I've always been leading both here and nationally a lot of criminal justice reform efforts. So I'll be focusing a lot on working a lot with the team that we have in place. Very excited about it. I think we have a high-performing team, both up there and in DYA that will be announced shortly, and changing the way that we're handling people, looking at people for people and not treating them as numbers, trying to get some effective programming in there so we can drop the crime and drop recidivism. I'll be spending a lot of time in those areas. And then, of course, I've been helping the governor push and helping her sort out the administration, so I'll be using my office to help her lead the government. So I'm happy.
And you can watch the full interview with Governor Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio right now on our YouTube page as well as on our Facebook page. It's a special edition of the After Party. With us now is the program director for the big event today, the inauguration, Cliff Guzman. How are you doing?
Doing well, actually doing well. We've got a great team cranking here and everything's falling into place.
Take us through today's program.
Well, today's program, we're going to start with, of course, recognizing all the distinguished visitors. And then we're going to introduce all the special guests as they come on the stage, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do that to the Guam March. More appropriate, what's more appropriate. And then the big event when the Lieutenant Governor-elect and the Governor-elect come out, of course. And that's going to be really exciting. We want to pump that up. And then we've got a couple of things in, some cultural things going on. There's a lot of stuff. And then the big event, the real big event, the administrations of the oath. And, everything kind of centers around that. And then we have very special gifts that have been put together by three of Guam's masters. And Jill Beneventi, Joe Guerrero, Greg Pangilinan. And so those are going to be presented to the Lieutenant Governor, the Governor, and the First Gentleman, or First Dude. And so those are going to be presented, and Ifanalayon's going to come up, and they're going to do a very special chant for that. So there's going to be a lot of fun things. And then, of course, you got to, once they're in and they're sworn in, then it's all about the confetti and the yay,
the party.
Yeah, the party.
Celebration.
A lot of food out here. We have enough to feed 2,000-3,000 people easily. And lots of entertainment, too, as well. It's a celebration. First woman to come, Governor Magahaga, it's wow. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
And then, got First Lieutenant Governor, youngest Lieutenant Governor. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah.
And so, one of the things I thought was really cool about the inauguration is not a single public dime. I mean, generous sponsors. You want to tell us a little bit about the sponsors?
I have to tell you, the sponsors have been amazing. They've raised so much money. And, of course, the issue is still, we've got Tony Sanford at the helm for Treasury, so it doesn't matter how much money you got, this is what you get to spend. And she's been really good about that. And so I think that's kind of a harbinger of the administration. It doesn't matter if the money is there, we're not going to go out and spend it just because we have it. And that's evident in everything that's been going on so far. There's been a lot of thought going into it and a lot of back and forth about, do we really need to spend this? That's a good thing.
Well, I know one of the things that we heard, we were speaking with some people, one of the ushers, and they were talking about everybody has a uniform, everybody has these scarves that they're wearing. Tell us about the symbolism behind that.
Well, I think the symbolism, it's got a little bit of that orange love, But I think more importantly, we needed some way for people to be able to identify if they needed some help, and I don't know where's the ladies' room, whatever that is. We had an opportunity to help them out.
Right.
But, it's like anything else. If you have a team, you've got them in uniform, you got them all pulled together. I mean, those uniforms really help build that teammanship,
Right.
A lot of pride.
Right, and they were saying that some of the colors that are in the scarves represent the different Democratic
administrations. Yeah, and they're talking with one of the ushers. They showed me, okay, this color is for the Redalia administration. This one's for Uncle Carl, and then Lou and Josh, custom made. And I like that the guys have the ties and the ladies have the scarves.
Yeah, why not? I just like the idea of the teammanship that's gone into this, because that's a really good thing. That's a great way to start. You got to have a team, and they're excited about it. And it's been 16 long years for the Democrats, and why not proudly wear the colors, everyone's colors? It's all good.
So what about you? Are you going to be working in the administration?
Me? No.
He's doing too good in the private sector.
Well, private sector been good to me. Yes, that's true.
Right, yeah.
But no, I think I'm here to serve and help any way I can. There's a lot of great brains out there. We have a lot of young people coming up. They need to have that same opportunity I was given back in Carl Gutierrez's day. I was so honored to have that opportunity and got a lot done, and I'm proud of it. And I think there's so much more that our people can give, and we all need to bring everyone together. That's the whole point of the scarves, isn't it?
Right.
Unity, bring everyone together. Let's do this as one.
Nice. But I'm sure if that phone rings and it's Adelup calling and they need, Cliff's advice on something, you won't hesitate to give that advice.
Oh, absolutely not. I didn't hesitate through any administration. I helped Joe Ada to call when Felix Camacho called, when Eddie Calvo called. Yes. Yeah, it's about Guam. It's not about your party.
Right.
It's about Guam,
But today is about the party because we are having a party later.
We
got entertainment.
Some other radio broadcaster, who won't mention his name, said party Democrat and do whatever else with the Republican.
Well, speaking of the party, we're going to go ahead and throw it over to the live broadcast on KUM TV 11, also streaming right here on our KUM News Facebook page in partnership with PBS Guam.
Viva!
Party Democrat.